I Can't Quit is the name of the book, and I'll get into that in a second. But my name is Paul Roberts, and today I'm 4,811 days sober. And if you could, I want you to remember that. I want you to remember the clap. I'm going to get back to it at the end of my talk, but I want you to remember you guys clapping because what y'all did was vital to the success of what I can do around here. Okay. But like I said, my name is Paul Roberts. I call myself the CSO of We Partners, the Chief Solution Officer. My man Daniel is the CRO. He's the Chief Reminding Officer of We Partners. And he just actually reminded me to tell y'all that I was the CSO before I came up here. That's how good he is at his job of being the CRO. And he really is. You know what? I would have loved to have seen everybody's face when they opened my slide presentation and go, what was he thinking? Like, who invited this guy to speak to us? Because there's got to be a story behind this thing, but I'll get to that in a second. But the greatest human need is belonging. When you belong, read 3D Coach. It's an incredible book. But when you belong, you perform at a higher level. Coach Bowden knew that. When his players knew they belonged, they did things on the field other players wouldn't do. They tried things other players wouldn't do because they knew they belonged. Daniel Ing has built one of the most amazing cultures of getting everybody to feel like they belong. He's phenomenal at it. In fact, when I got here, the last build was my first event I had ever gone to. Didn't even know what I was doing. I still don't. If there's any brokers in the room, I'm sorry. But I already knew everybody. Like I knew Tony King before I met Tony King because he talks great about everybody in here. All the leaders, Daniel does a phenomenal job talking great about John. Like I knew you before I met you because he does a phenomenal job of telling everyone exactly like most leaders, they want to make sure they're the leader. Am I right? Like, look at me. Daniel's the opposite. He's like, hey, you need to meet with so-and-so. You got to talk to so-and-so. I remember when I first started, I told him about the opportunity meeting that I used to do in my old business where we'd get up and do the opportunity. And he said, listen, you need to watch Gene Frederick's napkin plan. Because when you were telling me about your meeting, I think you're going to connect with the way Gene does it. So I watched it. Everyone communicates, few connect. Read that. It's a great book by John Maxwell. But Daniel connected with me, therefore I watched it. A lot of leaders say, hey, go watch this, it'll help you. But no, he connected with me and said, hey, I think from what you told me in your prior business, I think you're gonna like this napkin plan. So I watched it. I don't have it memorized, but I can tell you exactly where he is. And it wasn't the napkin plan that I used in my old business. It was a big old piece of paper that went over. He talked about his haircut. He talked about a lot of cool things, but I watched the video, right? So therefore, I already knew Gene before I met Gene. Y'all with me? He did the same thing with Brent Gove. He goes, Paul, I think Brent Gove speaks your language, bro. I think he's the one. You've got to watch Brent. So I started watching Brent and I watched all of his stuff. And now when his stuff comes out, I start saying it probably more than he says it. We help buyers buy, we help sellers sell, and we list agents. That video just came out a couple weeks ago, but I say it all the time now. It was one of my YouTube videos. We help buyers buy, we help sellers sell, and we list agents. See, that's a connection that I was able to make before I ever got to know him. So do me a favor, if you're a leader in here and you want to be a leader, get great at edifying. Get great at edifying everybody around you. Build them up. Please build them up because then they will feel like they belong well before they actually belong. They'll feel like they know everybody. Like I felt like I knew everybody when I came in here. I felt like they were already part of my family. It was amazing. Now, why Monkey King? My first event that I went to in Daniel's office, like Tony said, I sold my company. And Laura, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I wanting to build another deal, you know? And I'm headed to Daniel's office and they're having food, which if you live in Dallas, Daniel has food a lot and he cooks it and he's an amazing cook. But the first event we go to, I went with my office manager, Carolyn Richter, and we go into the office and this gentleman walks up to me and he goes, Monkey King. And he walked away. Now, let me preface this. Me and Carolyn were the only two white people there. Daniel's group at the time was like 99.5% Asian. So I didn't know what Monkey King meant. And we had nobody we could ask other than TC. His name's TC. He's right over there. He said it and just walked away. And I looked at Carolyn and I go, did he just call me Monkey King? And she goes, I think so. So we Googled it and it got worse, a lot worse. I was like, this is not good, right? And so I think later on, maybe an hour or so, TC comes back to me and he goes, well, the reason I called you Monkey King, it's a Vietnamese folklore. And I think your goatee and everything, I think you look like Monkey King. I got a nickname the first day of joining this. Immediately, I belonged. Y'all with me? I don't know if TC, what he did was intentional, but TC is great at making people feel like they belong. But what he did is, I got a nickname, and now I actually, he freaked out when I got monkeykingroyalty.com. He was like, "You did not." And I said, "I did." Um, but it just became my name. And it's that belonging. And then I was like, okay, take a deep breath, Paul. It's okay that you're rebuilding. It's okay that by the way, I barely graduated high school. I graduated 502 out of 522 people in my graduating class. That means 96% of the people beat me. I did the math before I told y'all that. And so it means I'm not that bright, but I'm hearing a lot of this for the first time. Where was I going with that? Building, thank you. I took a deep breath and I felt like I belonged. Whoever just said that, you know how to go to church on Sunday, you're good. So I was like, yes, I'm part of this group. And even though I didn't know how to spell real estate, I started doing stuff. You know, I came here to build a team. Daniel goes, don't do transactions. I want you to build. I said, I'm in it. I'm gonna build. I have 6 listings right now. I still don't know the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent. I don't know why y'all do that. Why is there, don't tell me, I don't wanna know. Okay, that's not important. I still have 6 listings. That's good, right? But because I belonged and I just fit in and I started hanging out with Daniel as much as I could, all of a sudden I was like, this is my team. See, you never want a person to drive by their church and say, that's the church I attend. You want them to say, that is my church. You don't want an agent to say, I work for EXP. No, I am EXP. EXP is my company. I am We Partners. That is my company. And when you get people owning that, listen to me, leaders. Who in here has less than 25 people on their team? Raise your hand. I'm one of those. I'm one. And they gave me a mic. Don't know why, but they did. All right. I have less than 25. I need y'all to listen to me. If you want people to be attracted to what you're building, make sure they own this thing. They don't work for EXP. They are EXP. And whatever your group name is, that's theirs. I'm We Partners. That's just as much as mine as is Daniel's. You got to own these things. All right. I can't quit. I was very heavy. I was 245 pounds in that picture right there. I now weigh 175. Thank you. And my point to this slide is this. Please do me a favor. I need you to strike this from your vocabulary. Never ever say it again. I'm the type of person that, don't ever say that again. Because until you've pushed yourself to a crazy level, you don't even know what type of person you are right now. But when you push yourself to a whole new level, I promise you'll come out of that going, I did not know I had that in me. So I'm begging you, take those words out of your vocabulary. I'm just the type of person. Now, we all do it. We're all guilty of it. I trained for my first ultra marathon, and the guy that I hired a coach. I don't know why, I'm pretty stubborn. I do things myself, but I hired a coach, and he gave me the stupidest schedule in the world. I had to run like 18 or 20 miles on a Saturday, and then on Sunday I had to run like an additional 10 to 12. Any marathoners in here, ultra marathoners in here? Okay, security, keep an eye on her. Okay, so just 2 people. So security doesn't have a tough job, but I was like, I wanted to say to him so badly, dude, I'm just the type of person. I can't run every day. I don't do this recovery run bull crap the next day. I do a bike, but I didn't say that to him. And I ran my first 50K on my 50th birthday because I didn't say those words. I'm just the type of person. Thank God my wife didn't say that. Let me tell you who my wife is. She's right there, by the way. If you can't see her, she's the one that matches me. We look identical today. I saw what she was wearing, and I'm the one that did it, not her. I was raised by 3 women, and then I have 3 women in my house. I might be the woman in the house. I'm not too sure. But I changed to match her this morning. I just want to be clear on that, not the vice versa. So let me tell you type of person my wife is. My wife and I got into our old business to build it. And this is what I said to her. I said, hey, you're going to do the admin, and I'm going to do the sales. Yeah, let's go for it, okay? Now, if you've built a business, you already see a problem with that business plan. You don't need a lot of admin work when you ain't got no sales, right? When nothing's coming in, there's no admin work to be had. Oh, yeah, you do the admin stuff, and I'm going to do the sales. And the number 1 rule of business is what? Staying in business. Who said it? Number one rule of business is staying in business. That's not a good method. Let me tell you what my wife is. My wife has done jobs where she has managed inventory, where she shipped it from Japan to here to other countries. And that was her job, logistic type stuff. She does not do sales. She does not do cold calling. She does not do recruiting. She doesn't. But when our backs were against the wall and they had repossessed her car, they'd already repossessed my car. And for whatever reason, when they repossessed hers, it hit harder. And she goes, "What can I do?" And I said, "I'm going to need you to cold call. I'm going to need you to help me recruit. I need you to call some leads and set appointments for me." Thank God that woman didn't say to me, "But Paul, I am the type of person that." Instead, she cried. She had a panic attack, which she should have. She was physically sick. She goes, "I got to go throw up." But this woman who swore she would never make cold calls, swore she would never set leads, swore she would never recruit, did all of those things. We don't sell our company for multi-millions. If that woman would have said to me, "I'm just the type of person," because she did something that she wasn't, what she thought she wasn't. I'm begging you to get that. That is the kiss of death when you say something like that to yourself, because you don't know what's inside of you. She had no idea what was inside of her. And then the next thing she said to me, she goes, "Paul, I am not public speaking. It'll never happen. I will kill you. You will die." And I said, "Honey, I have some bad news. We've hit some success levels and they've asked for both of us to speak. And all they want you to do is say, 'This is my husband, Paul Roberts,' and that's all you got to say." And she goes, "Okay, I'll do that." She was tricked. That was not all she had to say. That was not all she had to say. And she spoke, Tony, and we walked off the stage and she goes, "I'm never doing this again." I said, "Baby doll, I will talk to them and I will make sure that they understand that you are never public speaking again." As we're walking off the stage, the man at the end of the stage says to us, "Y'all crushed it. Y'all are going to be great at national convention." And I looked at her, I said, "I haven't even had a shot here." She's one of the best public speakers I know. She hates it. She will fight me before she comes up here. And she's only like 5'2", but she will win probably. She hates it, but she's one of the best. I've seen her speak at women's conventions. She's absolutely amazing. She's actually getting mad at me right now because she's going, if you're talking them and they get me speaking, this ain't happening." But she's great at it. Please, I beg everyone in here, never ever say those words. I'm just the type of person that. I thought that was me. I was the life of the party. I did all the drinking. I did all the drugs. I did all the tequila. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the crazy guy that would try any drug, drink any alcohol, do anything to see if I'd pass out. I thought that was my life. I thought that's who I was. I love being sober. God, I love it. I love the freedom of it. And I'll say this, I am the funnest recovered alcoholic you'll ever meet. Please do not hide your drinks from me. I think this would be a very boring place if everybody quit drinking alcohol. I want you to still drink. In fact, if you start slowing down, you can ask my wife, I'll go to the bar and I'll get you a drink. Now, some of y'all need to talk to me later, but the majority of you are good, right? So I'll be the funnest. Don't be shying away from me when we're at the bar together. Y'all cool with that? Is that a promise? Don't treat me differently. I just can't drink alcohol. I don't know why. I quit getting in that argument. I don't know. Just can't do it. Why my wife can drink one margarita and stop? I don't get that. That's the dumbest thing in the world. You're just getting started, baby doll. Like it's about to kick in and get really, really fun. And she says, "No, I just drank one." I said, "I never knew that about you because I was too." Anyhow, I Can't Quit was birthed from this. I was desperate and I was crying and I said, "God, I can't quit. I just can't quit." I tried everything. I read every social book on drinking. They're all a lie when you're an alcoholic, by the way. My pastor doesn't like when I label myself as an alcoholic or a recovered alcoholic. He goes, "Don't label yourself." I said, "What do you want me to tell him? I'm an overachiever when it comes to alcohol. I don't know what else I'm going to connect with on this, okay? But I don't label myself as that, okay? Y'all understand that, right? I just love being sober." But I Can't Quit was birthed from the fact that I couldn't quit and I was desperate. I just wanted to die. I can't quit. I can't quit. On May 28, 2012, I finally did. And I surrendered to God and I said, "I can't quit." And God literally took it away from me. It wasn't easy, but God lifted it from me. He says, "You tried long enough on your own. Let me handle this. I got this," right? And so then it became, I Can't Quit became, I started a new business here with Daniel and Calvin and call it I Can't Quit. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to write a book on just addiction. I'm going to write a book on addiction and I can't quit the business. Because all these flooding memories come back of when I started the other business when I was broke. I'm not broke no more. It's a lot more fun. But I'm like, I still can't quit. I made a promise. I can't quit. You can ask my wife. I actually finished this book in Cabo when we were at Cabo at our Cabo event. Did I say Cabo a bunch of times? That was weird. Thank you. You can ask my wife. I stayed up till 2 a.m. just working on it.
And I actually finished this book in Cabo because like, this is about me not quitting this business. I can't just rest on the laurels that I made a lot of money over here. No, I got to come over. I got a son-in-law. He just lost his father last week. He needs to see me work. And if I quit now and I make it to 90, that means I retire for 40 years. How exciting is that for him? See, there's someone watching you right now and you can't quit. Now, let me tell you something. You don't need an audience of Ed Milet or a Tony Robbins or even a Brent Gove to have impact in people's lives. You have impact in people's lives right now by the way you handle challenges, by the way you behave. You're changing people right now, one by one. I interviewed a lot of successful people. Not one of them has ever said to me, it was Ed Milet that changed me. It was Tony Robbins that changed me. They name one person, sometimes two, but it's a person you and I don't know. Mine was Fitz. I walked into his office at the age of 34. I was broke. I was busted, disgusted. I couldn't pay attention. And he believed in me. And I sold a company for multi-millions because of that. You had that same impact. Everybody in here has got less than 25 people on your team. Y'all are the next explosion. I've seen this happen in other companies before. It's not going to come from the people that got 1,000, 7,000 people on the team. It comes from y'all. The ones that got 25 or less people on the team, y'all are it. And I beg you not to sit around and think I have to have a YouTube page before I can be successful or I have impact in people's lives. Bullcrap. Fitz didn't have nothing. Fitz wasn't the Fitz that I know today. He had nothing, but he just believed in me. Can you believe in somebody? And then can you believe in yourself enough to realize they're watching you and you got to set the standard? Let me tell you something. Success isn't what you think it is. See, when you're broke, you think it's all about you and I just got to be successful. I just got to be successful. I just got to be successful. But I tell you, interview successful people and ask them, what changed once you got successful? And I promise you, all of them will say this. Every one of them will say this. Success had nothing to do with me. It wasn't for me. I was pawned. I was used to give other people hope. It was y'all clapped. Thank y'all for clapping. You know why? Because there's somebody in this room, I swear to God, that wants to quit right now, wants to give up alcohol, porn, drugs, anything. But y'all clap and accepted me for that. And because y'all accepted me, you gave someone a chance in this room. I swear to God, you did. I promise you did. You can do the same in business. You're going to be successful in business, not for you, to give someone else a shot because they're thinking, I can't do this. But then they look over at you. Do me a favor. This is what I'm going to end with. Make it look easy. Quit acting like everything's so damn tough. Make it look easy. Because if you make it look easy, Brent Gove makes it look easy. Am I right? Like he makes it look easy. Like you want to join in on the fun. And you know it's hard. You know it's punishment. But you got to act like it's easy. Go get yours. I'm getting mine. Adios.